This video will focus on an addition to the service that we have, and I'm going to ask you if this is something you think you might be interested in. Please watch the full video without skipping. This way you will not miss any details and get the wrong idea of what this addition is all about. So we started about a year and a half ago with just the daily levels. And what that is, it's simply after Globex opens, I post buy and sell levels for 7 futures instruments, and then you either draw them on your charts manually, or now we have an indicator that does it for you. It finds the midpoint, and it's very simple. Below the midpoint, the crude oil, for example, below the midpoint, you're looking for price to reach the sell level. Above the midpoint, this is gold, you look for price to reach the buy level. This is pretty much across all instruments, right? This is the euro, below the midpoint, short, toward the sell level, and so on and so forth. This you're familiar with. It's been a year and a half now. About a year ago, I added the trade indications channel. Now that is specifically for the Nasdaq and the S&P about 2 hours to an hour and a half before US session opens. I give key levels for the Nasdaq and the S&P along with market direction and major targets to be hit. At around 8 a.m. We have a live room where I go over these levels and the plan in detail. And after that we meet again close to 9:30. Again I reiterate the plan, and in real time we look for targets and places to enter trades, again specifically in the Nasdaq and the S&P. My goal from the beginning when I created the service was just help traders generate $100 of profit per day, assuming one E-mini is traded. If you're trading in micros, you would adjust accordingly, but that was my goal. And I think with everything that I offer, it is an achievable goal. At least that's the feedback I am getting from people, especially those who can attend the live room, where I really, in real time, talk about, again, targets, key levels, market direction. Now for months I've been receiving emails from members, I think especially those who cannot attend the live room, asking me to also post trades that I personally take. I've been somewhat reluctant to do that, mostly because I believe my approach to trading might not be suitable for most traders here. For reasons I'm not gonna go into now, but basically I go for larger targets. My stops are larger as a result, of course. I look to trade level to level as opposed to scalping a few ticks here and there. For all those reasons and more, I was reluctant to do that. But again, just kind of succumbing to the pressure, I guess, just getting a lot of emails. And I mean, the whole purpose why I created the service is to help traders. So beginning last Sunday night, Globex open, April 21st, in ADT member channel, I began to post trade ideas that I participated in. Anything from crude oil to gold, S&P, and so on, and just kind of showing the results. And I began to get a positive feedback. So a couple of days later, Tuesday or Wednesday, we actually created a separate channel for these trade ideas or signals, whatever you want to call them. And I would just post in this channel, and this was open to all members. So if you are a member, you can simply go to this channel and take a look. There are timestamps. Of course, nothing is after the fact. There are timestamps, and then kind of follow up on these trades. Again, everything from Russell to gold to crude oil, S&P. I think there was a YM trade somewhere last week. So anyway, in total, there were 11 of these, I guess what I call high probability setups, high probability ideas. Out of 11, all 11 were profitable. Now, I am going to go into slightly more detail a bit later on, but first let me kind of stop here a second and just remind everyone that futures trading involve risk. We all trade at our own risk, and nothing I say is a recommendation to buy or sell futures contracts. Got to get the legal stuff out of the way here just to remind all of you. If you have any more questions, go to my website, and there is a risk disclosure there as well. Anyway, so this experiment that I ran last week, 11 out of 11 trades, I participated in these trades, and all 11 were profitable. Now, let me kind of, and I'll explain something here. One of the trades, the crude oil trade, the call was above 83. Crude oil would target $84. So above $83, it would target $84. So what happened was crude oil traded above $83. I got in at 83.05, but the high was only 83, I think 58, I believe, 58. So more than halfway there, but not quite reaching $84. And in my book, it is still a winning trade. It was more than 50 ticks in the money, and I think any trader who would allow being 50 ticks in the money to all of a sudden have a losing trade, because from this point crude did turn around and actually went to an opposing level. Not going to get into here what is an opposing level. Members know what this is. But in any case, it did not proceed to $84. Instead, it went to 82.10, which was actually a trade I spoke about the following day. This is it, below $83, 83.30 actually, going toward 82.10. So when it couldn't reach $84, then it became apparent they want the 82.10, and I posted that trade. My point is, even though this call did not quite reach its target, it was still, in my eyes, a profitable call. That's why I can say that all 11 trades were profitable trades, even though this particular one did not quite reach its target. So now I want to address probably the most common question I will get regarding this. What percentage of these trade ideas or trade signals or trade setups are profitable? What percentage? And that's a tough question to answer, again, because I would consider this type of trade still being a winning trade, even though it did not quite reach the full target. So let's kind of break it down like this. And I'm going to lowball it. I much rather under promise and over deliver than the other way around. So let's call it like this. At least 70% of these trade ideas, trade signals, will be nicely in the money. And I mean nicely in the money. Like this crude trade that was at least 50 ticks in the money. About 60% of these signals will actually reach its full target, and most of the time these targets are fairly distant. I'm not talking about scalping here. For example, the gold trade moving from 28 up to 44 and 51. This was the call, and gold hit both of these 44 and 51 from the 28 area. So we're talking about substantial trade. So about 60%, and again, I am lowballing it here, about 60% will reach the full target. And let's say 25 to 30% will completely not work out, go completely the other way to what I call an opposing level. But again, I'm not going to get into this here. The point is, it is a call that does not work out at all. 25 to 30%. Would not work out. Now, last week was an amazing week. It just so happens on the week that I tried to run this experiment in the member channel, I was just 11 for 11 this week. It is not the average. Most of the time, out of the 11 calls, I would say 2 to 3 would not go to the direction I expect. Most of the time, out of 11, 6 or 7 would reach the full target. Last week, 10 out of 11 reached the full target. So way over the probability average. Okay? And yes, this could mean, for example, that next week, just the way probability works, out of, let's say, 10 signals, only 4 would reach any kind of target. It is possible. That's how probability works. But for the month, I would say again, at least 70% of the signals would be reaching, at least going in a direction nicely profitable, the direction of the target. About 60%, let's say 60% would reach the full target. So another question would be, when will I be posting these signals? And that again is difficult to answer. As a matter of fact, impossible to answer directly, because I will post at any point where I see a high probability setup occurring on a specific chart. So it could be in the evening. I am US Eastern time zone, so it could be in the evening my time, it could be early morning, it could be during the US session, it could be in the early afternoon. I cannot really say when. It's whenever I see a nice setup, and I would only post truly highest probability setups. I myself would take sometimes trades that are not as high, let's say maybe 60 or 65%, let's say, probability of being successful. At times I would do that, but as far as for the members, I would only post the highest probability setup that I see. Those would be like 70-75%, that I foresee having a 70 to 75% probability of succeeding. Please again understand, I know I'm saying it a lot, but it's really important to understand. Trading is about probability. That's all it is. It's not about any one trade or even any one week. In a given small sample, anything can happen. I can have a beautiful run of winning trades like I had last week, or all of a sudden I hit a period where less than 50% succeed. That's probability, and that happens. However, as far as overall for the month, I mean, the last time I had a losing month was before COVID. Before it was actually late 2019. It was before COVID when I had a losing month. Do I have losing trades? Of course. Do I have losing weeks? Not many, but at least 2 that I can think of in the past few years. So yes, I could have losing weeks, but as far as a losing month, as I said, the last time was 5 years ago. So next topic. I really do not expect, nor is it necessary, that most traders will hold positions like I do. And again, my goal for the members is just to hit a reasonable daily target. Let's call it $100 to $200, assuming one E-mini is traded. If you have a small account, you're trading micros, you would obviously adjust accordingly. But that's really my goal here. I don't think it's even advisable for most traders who try to qualify for an evaluation, who have an evaluation account, trying to qualify for a funded account, or those who have a new funded account that's still within the trailing drawdown threshold. I know to be up a whole bunch of money to watch the market then move against you could be detrimental to your success. So I do not even think it's a good idea. Again, going back to why I was reluctant to share this, because I'm not in a situation where I have to worry about a trailing drawdown in any of my funded accounts. So I'm in a slightly different situation that I can allow myself to be up a whole bunch and then give a good portion back. I do not think it's a good idea for most traders to try and hold positions. However, it's available to you if you have the desire or even the ability to do so. Okay, as far as the cost, let me be very clear. This has nothing to do with a regular membership to this service, which again includes the daily levels, these daily levels, the trading indications channel for the Nasdaq and S&P every morning, and the live room. This would be a completely different subscription because, again, I do not think this is appropriate or even needed for everyone, and so most people are happy with the package they have, and I definitely do not want to raise prices on that original package. That stays as is. If someone is interested in this trading signal service, it will be done in Telegram. There will be a channel in Telegram where I will post, and you will immediately get a notification on your phone that a trade idea was posted. So it's nice and quick. It would be a completely different subscription. At this point, I want to keep it separate. I really do. So what would happen is this. You will email me telling me that you are interested in this kind of a trade idea slash signal service. I will send you a quick risk disclosure. You will just initial it, saying that you understand that futures trading is risky and everything I offer is for educational purposes only. Then you will get a link after payment. You will get a link to the Telegram channel where I will be posting these trades. Again, I'll be posting these trades as I see situations set up on charts. I cannot tell you ahead of time when this will happen. It could happen at any moment. The price for this is going to be $100 a month. It will not be a recurring subscription because after the first month, I really want you to figure out if you want to continue with this. So I don't want there to be a situation where you forget about it and all of a sudden you are charged again. So it's not going to be subscription based. You would simply send $100, and if you want to continue after the first month, you will let me know. I want to make it clear again. I believe that everything I provide in a basic subscription service, the daily levels, the trade indications channel, the live room, this is enough, I believe, for most people to hit a reasonable daily goal. I am just responding to multiple requests to have something like this available. This is a bit more work for me as I have to post, these trade signals. I don't mind doing it because, again, these are trades I take myself. Just obviously for myself, I don't have to post anything. But I am willing to try this. I will definitely be looking for feedback for those who subscribe to this because I would be curious to know how they are doing with it. As I said before, I am somewhat skeptical of the whole notion of trying to trade someone else's trades. I am yet to see it truly work long term. However, when I try something, I always try to make things work. So I really hope, if this is what you're looking for, that this will work for you. So I will really, really be looking for feedback, good or bad, from those who subscribe to this. So my email is in the description. If you are interested in this, email me, let me know. I'll send you a disclaimer. You will initial it, and then we'll take it from there. So today is Sunday, and when Globex opens, that's when I'm going to start looking for setups. So thank you everyone for watching. I hope to see all of you in the Discord group if you're not there yet. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.